What's up guys, Boss here, and I'm back with another YouTube video, and this time I'm going to be playing live getting 12 wins in a classic challenge. In this video is to help you guys who have not won a classic challenge before or who have won a classic challenge but would like to win more of them and build yourself up to the level of where you're able to win a GC. And I know a lot of you guys aren't able to play GCs because you don't have the gems for it, or maybe you're free to play, or maybe you just want to buy emotes instead of spending gems on playing a GC. So, in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showcasing a deck that I think is one of the best decks in the meta right now, and I'm going to be getting 12 wins in this classic challenge live, giving you tips on how to play the deck, so you guys could use this deck if you want, or another deck that works well in the meta, so you guys can get 12 wins in your first classic challenge as well. So the deck I'm going to be using is this deck right here. The P.E.K.K.A. and the Magic Archer are really good right now in the meta because they both got a buff and they're just super strong right now. I'm having my win condition as the Ram Rider, and then Zap and Poison as the spells. Those are your typical spells in P.E.K.K.A. decks, and then you usually have the Ewas and Bandit as well, and then I have the Dark Prince in there instead of the Ghost. You can use the Ghost if you want, but I really like having the Dark Prince. I think it's really solid after the buff it got a couple seasons ago. So one advice before you get into the first game is I think your deck is really important when it comes to trying to get 12 wins in a classic challenge. It's really hard to get 12 wins in a classic challenge if you're using like an off meta deck. So what I really recommend is looking on TV Royale, using cards that were like recently buffed and are very strong in the meta, and then that'll greatly increases your chances of winning a classic challenge. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and go into our first game, and I'll give you guys some like pointers and tips on how to play this deck. Alright, I'm going to cancel and research. One thing I noticed about classic challenges is it's also typically quicker to find a game, which is nice. In grand challenges, often when you're at like 9 and 10 wins, it takes a really long time to find a game, but in classic challenges it's a bit quicker, so that's one good thing about classics as well. You don't have to wait forever to find a match. Alright, so we have Magic Archer in our starting hand. Magic Archer in the back first play of the game is never a risky thing to do. I personally think it's one of the best starting hands with this deck. Or you could go with a Bandit in the back. Either one works well. So it looks like this guy has the Fisherman. So the Fisherman, guys, in my opinion, isn't that good of a card, and is probably going to be getting a buff next balance change. Like, it's going to be able to hit air. I don't know if that's even going to make it balanced, though. I don't know if that would even be good enough. So it looks like he decides to go with, like, a Fireball and Bandit. I don't think that was too good of a play, but maybe his cycle was really bad or something. Okay, so he goes with a Mega Minion on top of our Dark Prince. Let's go with an Ewas here to counter his Mega Minion, and then I could go in with a Ram Rider, just because after he went with that Fireball, he kind of spent like a lot of Elixir, so I don't know how much he has to defend this. And the Ram Rider should be able to charge into the tower. No, it looks like it won't, because he went with the Zap on top of it, so well played on his end. I'm just going to go with the Magic Archer here to clean up the guards, and then the Hunter. It will get hit by the Hunter, I'm pretty sure, but that's fine, because it'll stay alive. And we still have to figure out what he's using. We haven't yet seen what his win condition is, because we've only seen like a lot of his support cards and spells and stuff. Oh my god, so it looks like he actually activated the King Tower from the Fisherman. Let's give him the well played. I wasn't sure if he was trying to do that or not, but either way, really nicely done on his end, getting that like King Tower activation with the Fisherman. That's like the one good thing with the Fisherman. There's so many ways to activate King, but besides activating King, it's not really that good of a card in my opinion. It's very weak. Alright, so not much has happened here, and it looks like, guys, he has the Giant. So obviously, since we have the P.E.K.K.A., that's really good, because P.E.K.K.A. does really well against the Giant, and then Golem as well, stuff like that. And I think the range with the P.E.K.K.A. honestly, like, just really helps too, even more so, like, do better against Giant and Golem. So actually, that was supposed to be a Ewas. I misclicked and went in with a Ram Rider, but it should be okay. So he goes with a Fireball. And the reason why I say it should be okay is because we do have the Ewas, which resets the Sparky, and then we have the Zap as well, which resets the Sparky, and then we also have the P.E.K.K.A. for the Giant. So guys, yeah, honestly, that was kind of a bad misplay on my part, because we kind of wasted 5 Elixir, but not too bad. We shouldn't like lose the game because of that. And again, he goes in with another Sparky. So another thing is the Bandit actually resets the Sparky charge. That's a good thing to know, like maybe a lot of you don't know that. And it looks like he goes in with the Fisherman. So I need to go in with an Ewas on top of the Sparky when it crosses the bridge. So let's Ewas now. And then, guys, let's actually go ahead and send in a Ram Rider, because he went with a Giant in the back, so he doesn't have too much elixir to defend this. He probably, yeah, I was going to say has a Hunter, but that's not going to completely stop it, so the Ram should get to the tower. Dark Prince should charge and splash on the Giant and the Prince, guys. The Giant and the tower, excuse me. So that's going to be a lot of damage, guys. And look at this Magic Archer. I think we could finish off the game right now. No, I actually missed, like the correct geometry of the Magic Archer. So again, a little bit of a mistake on my end, but you can just see in this game, like how strong a couple of the cards are, like the P.E.K.K.A, the Magic Archer, the Ewiz, the Bandit. Pretty much everything in this deck is so strong, which is just why it makes it such a good deck. And despite the couple misplays I made in this game, we were still able to get the win, so we probably can't be making these mistakes next few games, because eventually, like, we'll end up losing a game if we keep on making those mistakes. But yeah, even though we made those couple mistakes, we still managed to win the game. So GG, now we're 9-0, and we just need 3 more to go to get the 12. So yeah, hopefully by the end of this, you guys will kind of get like the basics of this deck and like how to use it, because I personally think this has to be like one of the strongest decks in the game right now. And I don't think I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you actually, if you don't have the Ram Rider unlocked, you can use the Battle Ram instead of the Ram Rider. But I personally just like having the Ram Rider in the deck, because this deck doesn't have insane air support from the Magic Archer and Ewiz. Those are the only two. So the Ram Rider is really good because it does well against like stunning balloons and stuff, and then also like Lava Hounds if you need to. So that's why I really like having the Ram Rider in the deck. You just have more air counters. Alright, so let's go to the next game. We're 9-0 right now, so it's looking pretty solid. Alright, so we're playing against I Want Candy Canes. So in this starting hand here, if he doesn't do anything, we could just play like an Ewiz in the back, but I honestly would rather wait for him to see if he wants to make the first move. Also, we could zap this tower, because that's only spending 2 elixir, and it's not really like investing anything. So let's just go with the zap, guys. Even though this is like a P.E.K.K.A deck, I personally think, hopefully that clips one of them. Okay, guys, I think that poison is gonna fully counter the furnace, if I'm correct. No, it actually didn't clip the second one, so if he didn't play that skeleton barrel and I didn't have the Magic Archer down, one of the fire spirits would have actually made it to my tower. But if you time the poison like precisely, like the exact timing, you can actually, one poison can fully shut down a furnace. But the placement's really hard to get the timing down on. I haven't even fully mastered the timing of it. But yeah, if it's something you practice, you'll get pretty good at it. So it looks like he has the clone. Let's go with the zap here on top of the flying machine and the giant skeleton. And he's down a lot of elixir, and also I'm not sure he's cycled back to another furnace or not. So let's just go with the Ram Rider, and even if he is actually furnace, it's not going to matter, because he was just down so much elixir. I'm actually going to go ahead and send in a Bandit as well, just to like apply some more pressure. And it looks like he has the cannon cart, so he had to spend 5 elixir to counter the Bandit, so I guess that was pretty good. We're probably going to have to play an Ewiz on this cannon cart, just because it is locked on our tower, and we don't want it to get too much damage. So we're not sure yet what his win condition is. We know that he has the skeleton barrel and like the furnace, but I'm pretty sure he may not end up having a win condition. I'm pretty sure I've seen this deck before. It's like this clone deck. It's being used a lot. I would even say more than Lava Clone right now. I'm seeing it a lot in GCs and even some on ladder. And yeah, there's the Witch. So I don't even think he has a spell, I'm pretty sure. So our Magic Archer should get a lot of value this game, as well as the poison, because obviously like the poison does really good against cloned stuff. So let's go with the poison on top of that, just because, wow, I didn't even think he was going to poison. Like, even if he didn't poison, that poison, even if he didn't clone, that poison would have been value, because it killed the flying machine, and it also, like, I think the Witch was in there too, so it got really good value. He does go with the furnace though, good defense on his end. So I'm going to send a Magic Archer in the back, and we're just going to try to keep, like, going in for pushes. We need to watch out, though, for the giant skeletons. That's the main thing that's, like, preventing us from breaking through. I'm going to go with the Bandit to tank the Magic Archer, just because I would rather have it survive. And then I'm going to go with the Ram Rider in the back, and then maybe we'll go for a P.E.K.K.A here. Is he going to go for a giant skeleton? No, he actually goes with a Witch. Let's go ahead and poison it. Now he might be able to use his clone, which is kind of unfortunate, so we need to watch out for that. But look at that Ram Rider, guys. It's going to be able to break through on the tower, getting, wow, actually a lot of damage, and then the Magic Archer is getting chipped too. Guys, that's just what I love about the Magic Archer. like, it just has so much defensive potential, and then, like, on offense, it ends up getting a lot of damage on their towers as well. So I would even consider the Magic Archer to be a win condition, and this is probably going to be a good game, guys. Honestly, we have a really solid matchup, just because we have Poison, and Poison, as you guys know, does really good against Clone, and it also just does well against the Witch and the Furnace, and then also the Magic Archer in that game gets a lot of value. So we can't really get any major Clone pushes off, so that's what makes that game pretty easy for us. And right now, guys, we're 10-0, so only 2 more wins to go, and then we get the 12. We may even be able to get 12-0. That would be nice. So let's go into our next game, and hopefully it doesn't take too long for us to find it. Alright, here we go. So we found a game against Pro Joe Omer. Or Omar. No, I guess it's Omer, because it's ER. Alright, so we have a Bandit in our starting hand, so we can start with Bandit in the back. That's honestly one of the best starting plays. Magic Archer in the back or Bandit in the back are really good starting plays. So let's go with the Bandit in the back and start off the game. And he's not doing anything, so, okay, it looks like he goes with Rascals, so I'm going to go ahead and just P.E.K.K.A in the back. The reason why is because I feel like P.E.K.K.A's a decent counter against the Rascals, and also I don't really want to play a Dark Prince into the Rascals, because they would actually end up killing the Dark Prince, and I just don't think it would be a good idea. So yeah, that P.E.K.K.A's going to do a good job of cleaning those up. That Prince probably is going to do a lot of damage to the P.E.K.K.A, but it will end up dying, which is good. Let's send in a Ram Rider behind the P.E.K.K.A, just to, like, apply some pressure. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and play a Magic Archer here, because I feel like he's using a Log Bait deck, and Magic Archer does really good against the Goblin Gang, Princess, any kind of that, any sort of stuff like that. But it looks like he didn't go in with the Goblin Gang, he instead just went in with his Princess. So that was actually pretty well played defense on his end. Let's go ahead and just send a Dark Prince in the back, and just, I guess, like, see what he wants to do. We could poison those, just because I feel like I've identified his deck being, like, a Log Bait deck, and, I mean, like, to be honest, the only thing I would really poison this matchup is the Rascals, I'm pretty sure. So, unfortunately for us, he, has the Goblin Barrel, which makes sense in a Log Bait deck, but we don't really have a good answer to the Goblin Barrel, because our spell is a zap, like, we don't have a log or anything like that, so that's pretty unfortunate for us. So I went with the Bandit there to take out the Princess, and now there's dual lane pressure, so he isn't able to defend both because he doesn't have the Elixir 2, so that got some really solid damage on both lanes for us. Magic Archer here should be able to take care of the Rascals. You can see here it hits the Rascal Girls and then the Rascal Boy, getting pretty solid value. I'm going to go with the Ram Rider here to apply pressure, and he goes with his Prince. I don't know if that Prince is going to charge. I think it will. It's going to be a close call, though. It didn't, I don't think, actually. Magic Archer, again, just getting insane value. I'm going to go ahead and P.E.K.K.A here. Prince won't charge on it, so that P.E.K.K.A is going to actually get more value. And then we can Ewiz here. Notice my timing, guys. We were able to hit all the Goblins. That's a really nice thing to practice, like that timing, so you're able to get, like, a lot of value with your Ewiz on top of the Goblin Barrel. I practice that, so I have the timing down, and I'm almost able to do it every single time. Not, like, every single time, but I think more likely than not, I get the timing down than not getting it down. Look at that, guys. Once again, I timed it correctly. So 2 times in one game, I play the Ewiz right on top of the Goblin Barrel, and we were able to shut it down. And, guys, Log Bait is actually a pretty tough matchup for P.E.K.K.A, but we were able to beat it there because we were really smart about saving our Ewiz for his Goblin Barrels or Dark Prince or whatever cheap card we had for saving it, and making sure that he didn't get, like, a good tank down and then play the Goblin Barrel. Like, if he went with Rascals and Barrel, that would have been pretty hard for us to defend, but we kind of just kept up the pressure, preventing him from doing that, and we were able to get the win. So now, guys, we're 11-0, and we only need one more win to get the clean 12-0 in this Classic. Hopefully we can do it. That would be pretty awesome to end the video off like that, and then maybe there's a few more things I'll mention, like tips and tricks with this deck before I end as well. So, as I said, Log Bait's a kind of a tough matchup for this deck, but I just beat it there, and it's all about using your Magic Archers and Ewizzes and Dark Princes smart, and Lava Hound is another tough matchup for this deck, but you can also beat that if you play smart as well. So, he's not doing anything. Let's just go ahead and send a Magic Archer in the back, just kind of like baiting something out from him, and it looks like he's using a P.E.K.K.A deck as well. So this could even be a mirror matchup, or maybe it's just a P.E.K.K.A deck that's similar to this, maybe not the exact same. So Dark Prince behind, we unfortunately don't have our own P.E.K.K.A. in rotation, which might be a little bit of a problem for us, just because, like, P.E.K.K.A. is the, well, kind of the best counter to the P.E.K.K.A., to be honest. And yeah, P.E.K.K.A. was kind of our last card, so that really was kind of annoying. But I think we should be able to defend it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play, like, a P.E.K.K.A. here to kill the Ewiz, and then it'll clean up his P.E.K.K.A. He doesn't have his minions in rotation, so whatever he plays will probably, like, the P.E.K.K.A. will get good value against it. So there, he played the Battle Ram. So the P.E.K.K.A. should be able to kill, it looks like it didn't actually kill the Ghost, so we need to go in with a Magic Archer here to clean up his Ghost. And then I might actually send a Ram Rider in. I'm not going to. The reason why is because he's back to a P.E.K.K.A. And I don't really want him to play a P.E.K.K.A. on top of the Ram Rider and then also getting value on the Magic Archer. That would be too valuable of a P.E.K.K.A. for him. And because I don't have my P.E.K.K.A. in rotation, I might not be able to defend his P.E.K.K.A. So I actually decided not to. We probably don't need to be too aggressive until Double Elixir. Since we have a slightly more expensive P.E.K.K.A. deck than he does, because he has the Battle Ram instead of our Ram Rider, and then he has the Ghost instead of the Dark Prince. So his deck is slightly cheaper. So in Double, maybe we'll have like a easier time breaking through. I'm not really sure though. Let's go with the Magic Archer here to counter the 2 Barbarians on the right lane. And then he goes in with an Ewiz, and I'm pretty sure that Magic Archer, yeah, I was going to say hits it. So that's really good. Let's Dark Prince here, so the Ewiz splits damage, and then let's go ahead and play our own Ewiz on top of the P.E.K.K.A. Unfortunately for us, the P.E.K.K.A. actually ended up hitting the Ewiz, so that was not the best Ewiz. I was hoping it would stay alive. So it's been almost a stalemate for the most part. He goes with the P.E.K.K.A. in the back. What I'm actually going to do is go with the P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge, and then go in with a Ram Rider. And he messes up his Ewiz, so this guy's might actually be GG. So this is what you can do a lot, guys. In Double Elixir, if they like go in for a P.E.K.K.A. in the back, what you can just do is play a P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge like what I just did, and they're not able to defend it. So it looks like we should be able to walk away with the win here. 10 seconds to go. 8, 7, 6. Yeah, no way he can break through. So that's going to be a good game. I think that was a great last game because that showed you guys how to play like kind of a P.E.K.K.A. versus P.E.K.K.A. matchup. Of course, there at the end, we really just took advantage of his mistake. So, like, if someone plays a P.E.K.K.A. in the back, in Double Elixir, and you're at full Elixir, you can just play P.E.K.K.A. Ram Rider at the bridge, and what that actually kind of, like, allows you to do is, even if they kite the P.E.K.K.A. into the other lane with a Battle Ram or something like that, your Ram Rider will still apply pressure, and they can't really ignore the Ram Rider when the tower's locked onto the P.E.K.K.A., so they'll end up losing their tower if they don't counter the Ram Rider, so then they don't have any Elixir to build a push behind their P.E.K.K.A., so I really like doing that. And that's how, like, you often end up beating P.E.K.K.A. versus P.E.K.K.A. decks, is by going in with, like, P.E.K.K.A.s at the bridge. So let's go ahead and open our chest here. I'm really happy with the clean 12-0. And I hope you guys learned a lot about, like, this P.E.K.K.A. deck. And I also hope this will help you guys win your first Classic Challenge yourself, for those of you who haven't. I really recommend, guys, as I stated at the beginning of the video, the most important thing about winning a Classic Challenge is the deck you're using. So, like, the deck I'm using here is really solid in the meta, and I think it's very easy to use. So personally, I think this may be one of the easiest decks to get a 12-win Classic with in this meta. And also some other decks that are really solid in the meta is 2.9 Expo, which can beat almost everything in the game right now if you play it well. And then also, there's a Golem Goblin Cage deck, which is a very easy deck to play. And Goblin Cage being the best card in the game right now, it's very strong. And Golem overall is a very easy deck to play. So those are the 3 decks I'd recommend to you guys. 2.9, you guys know what this is. This deck, and you have a couple different variants you could try. You could use Battle Ram instead of the Ram Rider. If you want to, you could try using Ghost instead of the Dark Prince. So you guys have a couple different options. And the Golem Goblin Cage deck, I'm going to see here if I have it in my deck slots. If not, I might quickly just tell you guys the cards in it. Or maybe add the deck link in the description. Yeah, I think that would be easier to do. I'll add like 3 deck links in the description of decks that I think are the best for getting Classic Challenge wins with. And guys, if you're consistently getting 12 wins in Classics, then that's probably time to then do a Grand Challenge. I made a video on how to win your first Grand Challenge if you guys want to check that video out. But yeah, I hope I helped you guys in this video. This video was directed to free-to-play players, people who haven't won a classic, or maybe people who have but just would like to win more or want to know a good deck for it. So I really hope this helped you guys. And if you liked it, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and let's open up the chest before we end. So we're going to get minions, spear goblins, goblin gang, Valkyrie, and hopefully we get a good epic. So we get the giant skeleton. I'll take it. That's not bad. There's definitely epics that are a lot worse than it, like the rage or like the wall breakers. So yeah, I'll take that chest. Not bad at all. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and thanks again until next time, guys.